pick is in and the Giants are done, it's Abdul Carter. So any conversation that, they were taking a look at Shedeuer, all these things, they just did what I think modern NFL teams see do more and more of. Take your strength, make it stronger.
Yes.
Like that's if you're the Giants, you just took the best part of your team and said, hey, we're going to only make that thing more of a fortress.
Yeah, they have Dexter Lawrence, who is maybe the best defensive tackle in the league right now. Brian Burns, who's a very strong edge rusher. What this does for Kayvon Thibodeau is probably move them back to their third edge rusher role within their defense. But this is a great move for them that gives them a starter talent with great upside as a pass rusher for Abdul Carter with the Giants, and also gives them more depth because they do have some guys there. They're going to get moved to roles that may be more appropriate for their skill set. So I like this move a lot. There are people who have talked about this. It kind of reminds me of the old NASCAR Giants back in the mid-2000s where they were crushing Brady's head in those Super Bowls. So if they're going to get back to winning those games, they must have said, hey, the offensive line is what it is, but we can make our defense and make this front seven and turn it into legit one of the best in the league.
I mean, look who's else in the league. Look at the quarterbacks in the league, in their division, I should say, in the NFC East. They have to play Jane Daniels, Dak Prescott, and Jalen Hurts 6 times a year, on top of everybody else that they have to play. All right, let's get a pass rush. That's the greatest equalizer is a pass rush. And if you have no better options, go to the trenches. And Abdul Carter, consensus, unanimous, however you want to put it, is a top player in this draft, and he can get after the passer. Just make a strength a strength.
We're going to bring in Jory Epstein, our insider, hanging out with us also. Jory, reactions to the Giants and Abdul Carter.
Yeah, if I'm the Giants, I'm saying, I have to go against the Eagles' offensive line and Saquon Barkley. Well, why don't I go to Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns and give them Abdul Carter? I mean, as Nate is saying, a strength is strength, and this is not just a strength, but it's also going against a strength in the division.
Yeah, it's 1,000% correct. Thanks, Jory. I really appreciate it. And I don't know, guys. Like, this to me is the easiest player in the draft. Like, where is Travis Hunter going to play is a real conversation. How are they going to use him? All these conversations. What's going to happen with Cam Ward? To me, coming into this draft, there was one player that was clean, easy, and just like, hey, that's the guy I want to take, Abdul Carter. Like, this feels, Harmon, like it was the easy pick in a good way, in every right way for the Giants.
Yeah, it's like we said, we're making a strength stronger here, provided that they don't turn around and trade Kayvon Thibodeau, because that has been a talk. And I mean, I think Carter will turn out to be a better NFL player than Kayvon has at this point. But like with that offense on the other side of the field, you're not scoring more than 21, 24 points in a game. So you need to make sure the other team doesn't score more than that. So it is the pass rush here for me with this one. It just, again, with where you're picking in the draft, there's no offensive difference maker other than Genty to
But
take
there is there is offensive line. Like some of the guys were hype on offensive line for the Giants.
But even like, okay, let's just hypothetically say they take Armand Membu. Great, right? I love Membu's game. He's super fun to watch. I think he could be a difference maker on the offensive line. How much better are you? Because you still have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston behind center, and you have one difference-making skill position player, Malik Neighbors. That's it. Like, I don't think a right tackle really moves the needle that much on offense, so you're just trying to close the gap on defense here with Carter.
I was maybe a year early on Giants defense hype, and this might actually like kind of rekindle that, because the back four, or I should say back five, their DB room is young. They've added to it, though, and hopefully you get a little bounce-back season from Banks there as well. And now we got a DB room, we got a pass rush. I mean, you already have 2 very good players, and now you're adding a guy that's the best pass rusher in this class, and you got decent linebackers. Not a lot of teams can hang their hat on 3 levels of defending like the Giants are going to be able to. And a defense that does some fun things as well. Got a little sloppy on the tail end last year, but I mean, they just added talent now in free agency, and now add a true blue chip talent in this draft.
Yeah, and I think that this is also a really good situation for Abdul Carter, because when I watch him play, he's not Micah Parsons. No. He's, but if we're talking about guys who are drafted number 3 overall, right, you're probably looking at someone who's going to be slamming heads against the run while also getting 10 sacks a year. He's not that guy. I think he actually needs someone to be a big brother inside to kind of eat some of those blocks and keep him clean, because he's a guy that struggled with base blocks in college, that struggled with heavier offensive linemen in college. So let's put him next to Dexter Lawrence. Right, that's a way where you can get him clean, easy, one-on-one situations that he can win as a rookie as he starts to get stronger and get used to the speed of the game.
Also, look at the financials. Like, I'm going to keep dying on this hill that now a pass rusher makes quarterback money. So we talk about it every year. Well, you got to take a quarterback and win on a rookie quarterback sale because that's the only time you can afford to win. I would argue the same has become true now with an edge rusher. Like, if you want to win and you want to build the best roster possible, you're going to have to hit at rusher in the draft. So much like we've talked about, what the cost analysis is on the reasons to take a quarterback, I honestly think cost analysis has given us reason to continually take. Every time you got a shot at an edge rusher, you just keep taking them over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah, and you can't have enough pass rushers. And surplus is surplus. Doesn't have to just come from one column on the Excel sheet. You can come from all the different positions. And honestly, having a pass rush, okay, yeah, you want to work on the quarterback stuff, but in theory, this regime is supposed to be here past this year.
Okay. All right, step too far.
Really
too far.
Yes.
In theory, they are. So you're like, okay, this is a nice, sound, smart decision. Like we're complimenting the Browns a little bit, but with the Giants, it's just like, okay, we'll see. We'll see if this ends up being okay for you guys.
That's a really fair question. I'll ask the whole panel. Does Abdul Carter save Daboll's job? Because no.
Only Russell Wilson can save his job.
Yeah, no. Look,
Man, if I have to go home to my family and be like, guys, we're eating next year because Russ, I'm not feeling good about it.
No, I'm not feeling good about it. Look, I love the pick of Carter because I just think he's the best player available at this spot, and you can't make decisions and just think about saving your own job. I mean, that's what most of these guys are doing. That's going to happen all night long and into tomorrow and into the next day. But still, the health of your overall franchise counts on you having real difference-making players, which I think Carter will be. But is it going to be enough to make them any better than the fourth best team in this division? I don't think so, man. Honestly, every Giants season is the same. The defense is just good enough to get football dorks like us excited about the defense. It could be pretty good, and then the offense is just. It's a mess in one way or another. They cycle in, mediocre quarterbacks. They might have one really good skill position player, but they're never fully maximized because of what's going on from a chaos perspective. So I don't know, man. Again, I love Carter. I think it's a great pick, but is it enough to save Brian Daboll's job? I'm skeptical.
They're going to be aggressive. There's a lot